Hello everybody, and welcome to Kobe's Classroom, the visual guide for the Forked Tower Blood Hallways and Boss 2 versus the Dead Stars. This one took a long time to make because there's a lot of groups that do things slightly differently, so I was thinking about what to do for that. So without further ado, let's get started. There's two main types of traps in the Forked Tower. There's mines, which explode in a small radius, and super mines, which explode in a very large radius. The only visual difference between the two is that the supermine has an additional red ring around it, so to help visualize them, I'll show them in red. In general, we try to clear the mines with Range of Falcon and the supermines with Phantom Knight's Pledge, but both of these work and Tank Invuln works on both traps as well. Within the hallways, we'll find some adds. The only one with a real mechanic is the Manticore. This does either a left or right hammer, which cleaves the named side and then the other. All the other adds are trash and either just auto-attack or do some telegraphed AoEs to move out of. The Scarab Beetle gives itself an evasion buff which can be dispelled by a Time Mage. All adds can and should be slowed by a Time Mage. All adds are also susceptible to Doom, so Oracle, Samurai and Cannoneers can attempt to insta-kill. Alright, getting into the hallways now. After boss 1 we're going to send ABC to the left hallway and 1, 2, 3 to the right. We have our thieves move ahead to discover a potential trap at the front of the first room. I'll be showing all possible trap locations, but traps come in groups where only one spawn location within that group is possible. Additionally, most trap groups are linked to another group, so only one trap out of those groups is possible. Once the first trap is cleared, we can pull the Scarab and Manticore in the second room while thieves scout ahead. Remember to Time Mage slow and dispel the beetle. We then continue through the staircase into a room with a lightning floor. While we pull the adds, we can have a Geomancer levitate themselves and activate the pylon in the middle to disable the electric floor. If you don't have a Geomancer, a tank can invuln to activate it. There's some more possible traps in the next corridor. In this main hallway, there's a new type of trap which will be moving along the hallway. This trap just silences anyone that stands in it for a minute but doesn't deal any damage, so casters should avoid it but everyone else is safe. We're going to continue up to the north. Off to the side up here there's a hidden door which can be revealed by a thief. That might have a trap in front of it. We'll come back to this later. Continuing up north we'll find a locked door which can be opened by a max level thief. Reveal any possible traps and continue inside. We'll pull the adds on one side as our thief reveals a hidden wall to check for some loot. Unlucky. The loot must be in the other room. So we go back, check the other side, and collect our Sanguinite. As we get back to the hidden room, if we have two thieves we can send one in here now. Otherwise we'll send them back here a little later. There's some possible traps just to the south of the entrance of this hallway, and then some more adds. In the connecting path we have our first possible supermine. If it's not here, it'll be in the next connector later on. Everyone will back up and we have a Knight pledge it. There's another lightning floor with adds that will have a mine either in front or behind it. Once the mine is cleared and adds are pulled, a Geomancer can deactivate it. Let's go check on what our thief friend is doing while we handle the adds. They go up the staircase in the hidden nook and find themselves in front of a long corridor. When someone stands on the floor, it will activate. After a short period of time, it will doom anyone still standing on the floor. To handle this, we need a thief to use Occult Sprint to get across, then reveal a hidden door on the other side. From there, they cross a walkway and drop down into a room with a chest with some Sanguinite in it, bringing our total before boss 2 up to 6. Clear any traps in front of the door and let the rest of the group in to grab their loot. And then we move on to the final section. If there was no trap before the lightning floor, there will be one here. Same with the supermine in the connecting path. We kill these adds and meet up with the other group above the central room. Each side activates a button to drop the gates, and then we drop down and clear any trap on the floor. Rangers can snipe these traps with their falcon from the balcony while waiting for the other side to finish. There is a potential trap on the other side of the door which some people hit by moving too fast, so just be careful and clear it. Now we move on to boss 2. Alright, now that we're here, it's time to talk about some differences between groups, which is the main reason this video took so long, because I knew there would be some people in the comments complaining that it's not how their group does stuff. So, I just want to let you know, yes there are differences, but they're all fine and don't really matter. Some groups will like waymarks like this, and like to put these groups on bosses. Other groups like to color code their waymarks and boss groups like this. Some groups like to have waymarks for fire tower splits later and do pairings in their waymark slice. The group I've been running with in Content Achievers on Materia has fire tower split waymarks and does A1 left, B2 middle, and C3 right pairings. So that's what I'll be using because it's the only thing I have footage of. But I just want to reiterate that all of these are fine, and people will find pros and cons to all of them. So when you're running with your group, these are the things you need to check beforehand so everyone's on the same page. Waymarks, boss groups, fire tower splits, and your slice for Enrage. With that out of the way, we can get started. We begin by pulling all bosses middle for a few GCDs of cleave before the bosses jump to southwest, north, and southeast. We send each group to their assigned boss as each one casts Decisive Battle, a large AoE. You need to only be hit by the one your boss is casting. This will tether you to that boss and give you a debuff so you can only deal damage to that boss. If the groups are uneven, some people may get tethered to a different boss. They should head to that boss to deal damage, but still resolve mechanics with their group. I'll be displaying a buff on the boss's head to show whenever Decisive Battle is in effect. Next up is Slice and Dice, a conal tank buster on each boss's main tank. Just point this out. Afterwards, all bosses jump towards the middle and start casting 3 body problem 1. We get out of the boss's hitbox to avoid the small AoEs and begin the slime phase. The red and blue bosses will turn into a same color slime, while the green boss casts Primordial Chaos. This does a small raid-wide which gives all players a 1, 2, or 3 red or blue slime debuff. You should be hit by the opposite color slime the shown number of times to cleanse the stacks. This is an entirely personal mechanic, and one of the things most new players die to is because of that. I'll explain how I recommend handling it. The slimes telegraph 4 jumps each. Once the first telegraph is shown, I recommend moving into the one for you so you're ready to cleanse a stack. Then you remember the next 3 waymarks to move to. The final jumps will always leave an entire side safe. Your shot caller can call the side for you. The slimes jump and we move accordingly. If you did it all correctly, you'll have no stacks remaining. If you still have stacks, then the Noxious Nova raid-wide afterwards will kill you. If you died during slime phase, then make sure you only res after this or you'll still die to your remaining stacks. After each mechanic, the 2 bosses which were transformed will jump to a line and start casting a giant cleave. To avoid this, we move to the wall at the line between them. Slime phase is over and the bosses return to their original positions, retethering their groups. This is followed by Delta Attack, a very strong raid-wide that hits 3 times. Fire Strike is a line stack that we just point outwards. The bosses jump middle and start casting 3 body problem 2. This time the green and blue bosses are going to turn into snowballs, beginning Snowball Phase. These snowballs have 4 stacks of a buff on them which makes them invulnerable. We're going to cleanse these stacks by getting hit by their mechanics. We're going to have ABC handle the north snowball and 1, 2, 3 handle the southwest snowball. It helps to have someone in your party mark your snowballs so you can keep track of it. Snowballs telegraph 3 wild charges each. Each wild charge needs at least 4 people in it to cleanse 1 stack of the debuff. To handle this, we'll have A1 handle the first charge, B2 handle the second, and C3 the third. You can position inside your wild charge with a tank at the front to soak the most damage. These will knock you back when you get hit. I recommend using your knockback immune to avoid getting knocked into another charge. The charges resolve and we get a telegraph knockback in the middle. 2 players will be tethered to a snowball with a stack marker. These 2 players need to get knocked back opposite their tethered snowball. All other players can get knocked back opposite their marked snowball. We stand inside the snowball to be the maximum distance away from the other one, and get hit with a proximity stack as the snowballs jump, cleansing the final stack. If all stacks are gone, the snowballs will be vulnerable and we just DPS them down before they enrage. If either snowball still has a stack, we will wipe. To try and help with this, we can have a chemist die in the wall and get a pending res south. All other players can then die in the south wall. Once the boss is reset, the chemist can accept the res and start resing all players for another attempt. If we successfully kill the snowballs, the bosses do another jump and cleave, which we handle the same as the first. The bosses return to their positions with decisive battle back in effect. Go back to your boss. This little intermission phase begins with another delta attack to mitigate through. Then we have Slice and Dice, which does the cone or tank buster, and the line stack we saw earlier. We have the party position to the left with the stack, and the tank position to the right with the tank buster pointing them out. The bosses jump back into the middle for 3 body problem 3. This is the last real mechanic. The blue and green bosses will transform into fireballs and fly away. 2 arrows are going to spawn opposite each other on a line and rotate clockwise or counterclockwise to the next line. We're going to have the letter groups follow the arrow that starts in the letter waymarks, and the number groups follow the arrow that spawns in the number waymarks. The fireballs drop down where the arrows finished, spawning a tank buster tower that also shoots a roll cleave at DPS and healers. To position for this, we have the DPS at the back towards the wall, the healers on either side, and the tanks at the front towards the middle. We're going to have the A1 main tank soak the first 3 hits by either mitigating the first, then invulning, or invulning all 3 with a late invuln. The B2 main tank will soak the second 3 hits, with the C3 tanks filling if needed. After 3 hits, all players will stack with the DPS at the back, then rotate clockwise around the tower to bait some puddles. There will be a line stack coming from the boss in the middle that goes off when we reach the other side of the tower. Then just return to positions for the second round and keep DPSing the fireballs. After the second set, the fireballs will start to enrage. If yours dies early, you can help the other side, but if you get too close you can end up baiting a cleave. Ranged players are free, but melee players would have to wait until the cleaves finish. Once both fireballs are down, we'll get another jump and cleave. the bosses return to their position. This time they don't have the decisive battle buff, so all are damageable. You can position in your marked slice ready for Enrage and just hit the boss closest to you. Six-handed fist fight begins the Enrage sequence. The bosses will jump into the middle and start clashing. Most groups have all the bosses' HP locked at 0.1% here, so the fight just ends. But if your DPS is a bit lower, you'll have to see at least some of Enrage. The boss will telegraph 2 sets of cleaves to dodge in the pizza slices next to you. Then we just get into these fixed positions within our slice to avoid some random spread AoEs. This repeats again before hard Enrage. And that's the whole fight. Most of it you can just follow someone, but Slimes is a personal mech. The things that catch most new players off guard are Slimes, remembering cleaves after every major mech, and the speed that the fire towers come out. Some people get complacent and forget about the snowball tethers, so that's another thing to watch out for. If you liked this video, you can leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at BigKobeLive, and I'll see you in the next one going over the bridges and boss 3. It won't take me as long this time, don't worry. Peace.